St. Thomas More House of Prayer in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. I want to invite you to join us at our beautiful retreat center, October 17th through the 19th, for our annual fall retreat. This year's retreat master will once again be Father Anthony Mary Prendergast from the Community of St. John. The theme is We Shall See Him Face to Face. For those who have never attended a retreat at the House of Prayer, get ready for a weekend packed full of praying the Liturgy of the Hours, attending Holy Mass, Eucharistic adoration, confession, powerful spiritual conferences, and more. The cost for the weekend is $280 per person for a single room or $220 for a shared room. This includes overnight accommodations, meals, and retreat talks. So go on over to our website and register today at liturgyofthehours.org/fall retreat. That's liturgyofthehours.org/fall retreat.
Ask a Priest Live, weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, is your chance to get answers to all of your questions about the Catholic faith. Featuring priests from the Priestly Fraternity of St. Peter, the Institute of Christ the King Sovereign Priest, the Franciscan Friars of the Immaculate, and various dioceses around the United States. Again, that's Ask a Priest Live, weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you from the Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network and the iCatholic Radio mobile app.
This is Joe McLean, and you're listening to the Station of the Cross, proclaiming the fullness of the truth with clarity and charity.
Heard around the world on your Android and Apple mobile devices.
Go into the world and tell every man that you meet, there is a man on the cross.
A Catholic Take. What you need to know right now. A bold synthesis of inspiration and information. Keeping you up to date on the news and issues from a courageous Catholic perspective.
A Catholic Take with Joe McLean starts now.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McLean. So good to be on with you. Praise be to God. Hey, today, you might remember, I remember very, very vividly. Remember back in the day when there was these mandates and people were losing their jobs if they didn't get their certain jab, and they couldn't talk about it online because they'd get in real trouble. I remember getting in lots of trouble, especially from people like YouTube, for instance. It put me into timeout, threatened to destroy everything if I continued to talk about these things publicly. It was weird times, weren't they? You know, Donald Trump yesterday, when he sort of started to question the narrative a wee bit about the warp speed vax mandates, asking Pfizer to release all the information publicly to put an end to the debate, to the argument about was it good, was it bad? I mean, there was all of those people that sort of died suddenly. There was that. Remember that? All those nightmares. Well, today we're going to be rehashing some of that with Dr. Jose Trasancos, formerly the president of Children of God for Life. He's retired now. But that's an organization that's tried to raise lots of awareness to the connection between unethical vaccines and abortions and other issues. And he and I used to get into a lot of trouble together back in those days. He joins us at 30 past the hour to have a conversation about that today. Also on the team is Stephen Davies. He, his wife, and a third partner, Brian Walsh, are trying to produce a film about the life of Frassati. And he's going to be telling us about his project at 14 past the hour. We'll put links to everything in the show notes for you over at thestationofthecross.com/ACT. By the way, if you are looking to buy or sell a home, you could do us a big favor here because our sponsor, realestateforlife.org, can provide you a great real estate agent. And we get a small piece of the commission once that transaction happens. It's a win-win for everybody involved. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, consider realestateforlife.org and tell them the Station of the Cross sent you, and then we'll get a little bit of piece of that to help support our ministry here at the Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network. Praise be to God in all things. All right, let's get into it. We have a lot to get to, and we're appreciative that you're going to share us with a friend today. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and now your saint of the day.
Pope St. Pius X, pray for us. Giuseppe Sarto was born in Italy in the year of our Lord 1835, the son of a poor shoemaker. He was consecrated Bishop of Mantua before the age of 50, became a cardinal within a decade, and was elected Pope in 1903, taking the name Pius X. As Pope, he was a zealous reformer, known for his hard line against modernism, which he dubbed the synthesis of all heresies. Pius also promoted a catechism, a revised breviary, and the restoration of Gregorian chant. He decreed an early age of 7 for First Holy Communion, rather than the later age that had long been the custom, and encouraged more frequent and even daily reception of the Blessed Sacrament. Pius also reorganized the Curia and began a commission to codify canon law. Throughout his life, Pius maintained an attitude of simplicity and humility, along with a deep desire for peace. The stress of his active pontificate, exacerbated by a heart attack and the opening salvos of World War I, finally led to his death in the year of our Lord 1914. He is celebrated on August 21st in the modern calendar. For more about this day and others in the Church's calendar, visit thestationofthecross.com/saints-and-seasons. Pope St. Pius X, pray for us.
And now your headline news. Just the News reports appeals court rules for EPA, allowing cancellation of environmental grants. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals yesterday ruled in favor of the Environmental Protection Agency, allowing it to cancel $20 billion in climate grants from the Biden admin. The grant recipients are expected to appeal the decision. U.S. Court of Federal Claims could take at least a year to reach a judgment, though, which some grant recipients claim will be too late, as they will have to close their doors long before then. Fox Biz reports OpenAI rolls out ChatGPT parental controls. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, is rolling out extensive parental controls intended to make its technology safer for teens. The launch is expected to take place over the next 120 days. Within the next month, parents will be able to link their accounts with their teens' accounts, control how ChatGPT responds to their teen, manage memory and chat history features, and receive notifications their child is using the technology in a moment of acute distress, at least according to OpenAI. Thanks. And the Catholic Vote is reporting U.S. strikes drug-carrying vessel in Caribbean. The United States military launched a lethal strike on a drug-smuggling vessel in the southern Caribbean yesterday, shortly after it departed Venezuela. The strike killed 11 crew members, reportedly of the designated narco-terrorist gang Tren de Aragua. The vessel carried a lot of drugs, Trump stated at a White House press conference just after the strike. And those are your headlines. The gospel today comes to us from Luke chapter 4, verses 38 through 44. And Jesus, rising out of the synagogue, went into Simon's house. And Simon's wife's mother was taken with a great fever, and they besought him for her. And standing over her, he commanded the fever, and it left her. And immediately rising, she ministered to them. And when the sun was down, all they that had any sick and divers diseases brought them to him. But he, laying his hands upon them, and every one of them he healed. And devils went out from many, crying out and saying, Thou art the Son of God. And rebuking them, he suffered them not to speak, for they knew that he was Christ. And when it was day, going out, he went into a desert place. And the multitude sought him, and came unto him, and they stayed him that should not depart from them. To whom he said, the other cities, to other cities also I must preach the kingdom of God, for therefore I am sent. And he was preaching in the synagogues of Galilee the gospel of the Lord. Laus tibi Christi. Saint Bede, the Venerable Bede, would say, for if we say that a man released from the devil represents morally the mind cleansed from unclean thoughts, consequently, a woman vexed by fever but cured at our Lord's command represents the flesh controlled by the rulers of continence in the fury of its own lust. Saint Cyril of Alexandria would say, let us therefore receive Jesus. For when he has visited us, we carry him in our hearts and minds. He will then extinguish the flames of our unlicensed pleasures and will make us whole so that we minister unto him that is, do things well pleasing to him. Father Haydock would write, it appears that when the devil expresses himself thus, it is less through conviction than artifice. He suspected that the fact that Jesus was the Messiah, and to certify the same, he said to him in the desert, if thou be the Son of God, change these stones into bread. In the same manner, by saying here, you are the Son of God, he wished to give him an occasion of explaining himself on the subject. It's a trap, don't you see? Let me just claim, hey, you're the Son of God. And you would respond with, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. You see, it's a trap. It's a way to get verification. That's what the devil wanted. It goes on. But Jesus Christ would not accept the testimony of evil spirits, lest he might be suspected of some intelligence with them, to cause himself to be acknowledged the Son of God. From the apparent good dispositions of these people, he goes on, we might be induced to think that if Christ had yielded to their solicitations and remained with them, he could have drawn all to himself. Yet he did not choose to do this, but has left us an example worthy of our imitation in seeking out the perishing and strayed sheep. For by the salvation of one soul, our many sins will be remitted, says St. Chrysostom. The Ignatius Catholic Study Bible would say, in the kingdom of God, a leading theme in the Gospels, it is mentioned more than 30 times in just St. Luke. The kingdom of Christ is closely connected with the ancient kingdom of David. For centuries, David's empire lay in ruins, existing only in the minds of the prophets who foretold its glorious restoration by the Messiah. Isaiah 9, Amos 9, Mark 11, Acts 1, for instance. Jesus now comes as the messianic heir to resurrect their fallen kingdom in a spiritual way, ruling from his throne at the Father's right hand. His everlasting reign in the heavenly Jerusalem, but extended its dominion over other nations as well. David's kingdom is the interpretive key to understand what's going on in Luke chapter 1, when the angel Gabriel says to Mary that her son will rule forever. We'll be back in 2.
iCatholic Mobile is a proud sponsor of the Station of the Cross. Solid connections, reliable data. That's iCatholic Mobile, a 5G wireless provider dedicated to your faith and values. Enjoy unlimited talk and text, dependable coverage nationwide. And every plan has unlimited data and free roaming in Canada and Mexico. iCatholic Mobile, the service that connects you to what matters most. More info at iCatholicMobile.com.
Download the app to take our programming with you wherever you go. Hear what listeners are saying about the regularly updated iCatholic Radio app.
The programs on iCatholic Radio are uplifting, educational, and have served to deepen my faith as a Catholic. Thank you for this amazing station.
Download the free iCatholic Radio app in your Android or Apple store today. Please consider giving us a 5-star review or telling a friend about it.
Please join us in a prayer to our guardian angel. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. O holy guardian angel, take care of our soul and body. Enlighten our mind that we may know the Lord better and love him with all our heart. Help us in our prayers so that we may not give in to distractions. Assist us with your advice so that we may see the good and carry it out with generosity. Defend us from the insidious snares of the enemy and sustain us in temptations that we may always be victorious. Remedy our coldness in our worship of the Lord. Cease not to protect us until you have brought us into paradise, where we will praise our good God together for all eternity. Amen.
Be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClain. Praise be to God. It is good to be on with you. Coming up at 30 past the hour, we're going to bring back an old friend, Dr. Jose Trasancos is going to be on to talk about Donald Trump getting into the weeds over the vaxes. This whole Project Warp Speed, whatever it was, he crammed down our throats just before leaving office on his first term. Biden admin picking up that football and going the full distance. You remember that? All those people getting laid off from their jobs. And then there was the soccer players keeling over on the field. You remember those good days? I got into a lot of trouble in those days talking about all of that with Dr. Jose Trasancos, formerly the president of Children of God for Life. He joins us at 30 past the hour to revisit old memories. But there is a new project afoot, Frassati, a historical drama based on the life of St. Pier Giorgio Frassati. And there's a team that's trying to put the funding together to make this all happen. And from sunny California, Stephen Davies joins us to talk about it. Stephen, good morning to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you getting up early today. Thank you for doing that. Praise God. So tell me about Frassati. What is this project?
Yeah, so this is going to be a film, obviously based on Pier Giorgio, but we thought it was really important to tell the story, not in a documentary form, but to bring it to life, to have actors to bring it to life, to the full cinematic experience, and just tell the story of Pier Giorgio, because I think people respond to film, respond to stories more than just facts. And we need this. We need his life, his example of his life to inspire not just young people, not just the youth, but all ages, because he lives just a heroic life of virtue and charity and faith, but from just being an ordinary guy and an ordinary person. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it happen.
Now, how did you get inspired to want to do this project?
Yeah, so it first came when I was on a missions trip in Lima, Peru, outside of Lima, Peru, where serving the poor with Frassati Fellowship, New York City, and we were there in this shanty town, just very poor area. We were building these houses for the families there, serving food in their soup kitchen, hanging out with the kids in town, and all at the same time. There's a spiritual side of it: daily mass, adoration, praying the rosary, liturgy hours, just hanging out as missionaries. But it was from that week of spending time together that I'm on my way back to New York City on the plane, and I'm reading about Pier Giorgio, because I didn't want to watch a movie, didn't want to watch TV on the plane. I'm just going to dive into his life a little bit more. And it was there that I saw that I just lived his life. And I'm like, man, I want people to experience this, because he didn't have to go to a mission trip. He didn't have to go to a different country. He did this in his hometown. He served the poor there, but he also was charitable to his family, to his friends, to everybody he met. And it's just, what an inspiring guy. And also his faith too. I mean, just everything about him was just, I just saw it as a film, and I'm like, this needs to happen. And so from that point on, just kind of kept on chipping away at it. And really about, I'd say 3.5 years ago is when the idea kept on popping back in my head. And I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, I think the Holy Spirit is telling us to like really push this forward and make it happen. And so that's when we started to make more concrete steps and, do more research and start to write the script and the story and just really develop it. And And here we are now, just, at the final stages, finalizing the script and taking it to that next level.
Now, I understand reading from your bios that you and your wife both have an extensive history and a background in the entertainment business. Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So my wife she did a lot of acting as a child. So she was in anger management. She was in Disney's Holes, and as well as various other commercials and such. And then when she was, she moved to New York City, and then she pursued musical theater. So she was on Broadway. She was in Les Mis on Broadway. And then once that closed, she went on tour, the national tour with Les Mis, and was Fantine, and she did that for about 6 months. And so she has an extensive history of performing, of acting, and then also writing as well. And for myself, I've been a recording engineer, musician since I was in 7th grade. But it was when I was in New York City, there for about 11 years, is when I delved into film and TV. And so that's where I really cut my teeth with, sound designing, dialogue editing, mixing for film and TV. And so then moving out to California, doing more of that and working for Warner Brothers, TNT Sports, as well as, mixing films for Amazon Prime or Netflix. And so we've each had our own professional experience that has kind of now been directed towards this film.
So what does it take to put a project like this together? What are all the basic parts that goes into it? What's the budget look like? Give us a rundown.
Yeah. So, well, first and foremost, as Catholics, we need prayer for this, because it's not just us doing it. We need people, begging God to help us and to give us what we need for this materially and also spiritually. And then right now, I think for where we're at, we need people sharing the website, subscribing to the email list, because we need to show investors and directors and others that people want this film made. That there's an interest for it and there's a desire for it. And then, of course, we need the financial side too, because these things are pretty expensive to make. So, it's right now we're focusing on just getting, finishing development, then getting into pre-production. And so it could, it's going to be a lot of money for sure. So I don't have the exact number, but we're to make the whole thing probably in the millions for sure. Okay. And so we're looking for investors as well who would have the heart to kind of really pour into this. And really, we need saint films. We need a lot of examples.
Something we talk about often, especially in our after show, we'll often talk about movies and entertainment quite a lot here. And something I will often say is, if I were George Soros, I would absolutely make movies, because the power of storytelling to change hearts and minds is an incredible medium and a tool for evangelization, but it has to be made at the highest production quality level. I mean, if I was George Soros, I would force the best in the industry to do my bidding. And it's one of the areas of Catholic evangelization that's underperforming. It's not tapped yet. We do a lot of talking head stuff. We do a lot of all kinds of other things, but there's very, very, very few people who are trying to do entertainment in a way that's compelling, inspirational, beautiful, epic, or any of that at that serious level. And so I applaud your effort to try to do that. And but again, this is a millions of dollars type of a project. So it really does require a serious foundation of supporters to spread the word, to raise the funds, and then you're going to go after investors, I imagine, as you said a minute ago. How difficult is that process of getting investor funding?
It's pretty difficult because it's a risk. Right now it's the film industry is a little tough. But you look at Angel Studios, look at these other Christian companies who are doing it. I mean, it's out there. People want these types of films. They want good entertainment. I have kids. I would want something like this for my kids. There's a lot of stuff that you're like, I'm not going to show that to my children. So, but also like any good art, it takes money, it takes talent, it takes people who are willing to take a risk and do it. But it's what really, in the end, gets to people's hearts. I mean, it's what do people quote right now? A lot of, they quote movies, so it's like, for me, I think of growing up, I think of watching movies with my buddies, and we just quote it, having fun. It's like, those are things that you remember, or you listen to the soundtrack, and then it brings up a certain scene, and like, I want that scene to be something that is about Pier Giorgio's life that people can draw on and then be inspired by. So, but it does take, it takes a lot of money and a lot of talented people. And so we're praying for both of those, for getting that creative team together and getting investors who want to take a risk and who want to just invest into the culture and to the future of our church. But really for, this is a great way, like you're saying, to evangelize. I mean, his story is not just for Catholics. It's not just for Christians, but it's for everyone, because it's a human story. He's a good guy, but he is Catholic, and he's.
What about distribution? How do you envision distribution for this film? Will it be released in theaters? Will it be Netflix? Will it be Amazon or something like that? Or how do you see it?
The goal is theaters, for sure. Theaters. I think there's something about going to a theater that is still, an incredible experience, and you want people to just be in it, not be distracted by being, on a phone or whatever at home, because that's too easy to do. If you're watching Netflix, you're not really paying attention. But the theater, that is the goal, and then from there we'll kind of see what happens. Definitely be in some sort of streaming service after the fact, so it's accessible to to everyone. But yeah, theaters, that's the number one goal.
And the time scale on this project, I mean, usually these things take 5 years, 10 years, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it kind of depends if we get those investors and get those people pretty sooner than later to help out. But I mean, right now we have a script, so we are that took 3 years to do. So and so probably 5 years, God willing, sooner. But you never know. I mean, it's really, from the beginning, we've surrendered and consecrated this to our Lord through the Theotokos and Pier Giorgio's intercession, and it's really God's timing. I mean, and that's not just a pious thing to say. It's like really kind of we're going as quick as we can, but it comes down to God's timing, to the doors that He opens, and that's what we're relying on. We're knocking the doors, but it's really kind of God leading the way with this.
So will this ultimately, let's just assume you get all the funding you need, will this ultimately be still an independent film project, or are you hoping to get picked up by some studio somewhere or anything like that?
That's a great question. It could be either. It kind of depends on the investors. It kind of depends on, I'd say, the director we get. If we get picked up by studio, awesome. But I think it's kind of too early to tell. But we're open to whatever's best for the project.
Yeah. What's the best way for people to support you? Is it just through the website?
Through the website, yeah. FrassatiFilm.com.
Okay. FrassatiFilm.com. We're going to put a link to that in the show notes as well, but FrassatiFilm.com. Tell your friends and your family, support them if you can. Yes. Join their email list and spread the word. That'd be amazing. FrassatiFilm.com. I would love to see this movie become, a finished project that we can maybe host in a theater somewhere. That'd be amazing. Praise be to God. But Stephen Davies, I appreciate you getting up early today and sharing your project with us. God bless you and God love you, my friend.
God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
FrassatiFilm.com. Check that out. Coming up after the break, though, let's have a wee conversation about vax mandates, the warp speed. How well did that go? Well, we're going to talk with Dr. Jose Trasancos about that in just 2 minutes with more breaking news. Share us with a friend. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Jim Havens, host of The Simple Truth, heard weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network.
We call Israel the Holy Land because that's the birthplace of Catholicism. A lot of Protestants have an aha moment. Wow, I went from one Catholic church to another. I didn't walk in to a Methodist church to see where Christ was born. No, Catholic, Catholic, Catholic.
That's the simple truth, weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Station of the Cross.
The Station of the Cross began broadcasting in Buffalo, New York in 1999. Since then, our listening areas have multiplied and expanded into several states. While our mission is to grow the Catholic faith through radio and other media outlets, our apostolate is supportive of but independent from your local diocese. Through your generosity, we are able to inspire countless listeners with the gospel and help lead them to a parish to be spiritually nourished by the sacraments.
Here's the question for your non-Catholic friend. Understanding Melchizedek, Malachi, and Mass seem quite mysterious to most, even including Bible students. How about you? Well, here's your 3 best friendship tools for Catholic evangelism. Number 1, Melchizedek. He's the very first priest in biblical history. Though he's a prefigurement of Jesus' priesthood, Melchizedek was a person. To Abraham, he presented bread and wine, which are the biblical elements of a sacrifice, and now presented at a Catholic Mass. Secondly, Malachi. He follows up some 3,000 years later and says, "In every place incense shall be offered to my name in a pure offering." It is understood that the pure offering would be the sacrificial body and blood of Christ that is confected on every Catholic altar. Prophetically, this would replace and fulfill the ineffective temple sacrifices. And thirdly, my pesky comeback. That pure and holy sacrifice is not grape juice and a wafer at a non-Catholic communion service. Also, those elements are not Jesus' body, and they surely aren't Jesus' blood. However, I am glad to say that some grape juice and a wafer is a really nice summertime refreshment. Find me online at Smarty Pants Catholic Evangelism.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClain. Here are your headline news. The Hill reports Kraft Heinz undergoes blockbuster merger. Kraft Heinz is splitting into 2 companies, actually. A decade after a merger of the brands created one of the biggest food manufacturers on the planet. One of the companies, currently called Global Taste Elevation Company, will include brands such as Heinz, Philadelphia Cream Cheese, and Kraft Mac and Cheese. The other, currently called North American Grocery Company, will include legacy brands like Maxwell House, Oscar Mayer, Kraft Singles, and Lunchables. Officials will name their companies sometime later. Breitbart reports European activist uses AI facial recognition to out ICE officers. Dutch immigration activist Dominic Skinner claims to have used AI to unmask at least 20 ICE officers who were recorded wearing masks during arrests. Skinner, who is part of a broader online campaign called ICE List, says his team of experts can reveal an officer's face using AI if 35% or more of their face is visible in a video or image. ICE spokesperson Tanya Roman defended the use of masks, stating that they are for safety, not secrecy, and that campaigns like Skinner's threaten officers' lives. And the Catholic Herald reports intimidation campaign clears Catholic residents from a Belfast home project. Only one Catholic family now remains in a new housing development in North Belfast in Ireland after a series of attacks and threats forced others to leave their homes. The situation escalated last Thursday when 3 properties were targeted, forcing more families to flee. The PSNI confirmed it had strengthened its policing footprint in the area, saying intimidation of any kind has no place in society. Every individual has the right to live in peace, free from fear, in their own homes. Close quote. Those are your headline news. RFK Jr.'s stirring the pot up. Speaking of stirring the pot up, I see RFK's still going after the vaccines. Praise be to God for him. Have a listen.
The vaccine is ineffective for the first 6 weeks after the first shot. I'm assuming a 2-shot, a 2-dose vaccine like Pfizer or Moderna. And that during that period, the COVID infection rate goes up and the death rate goes up. And
there was a lot of controversy started under the Project Warp Speed from President Donald Trump and his first admin that led to vax mandates all across our country under the Biden admin, that led to people losing their jobs, that led to people losing their lives. And back in those days, I would often have conversations with Dr. Jose Trasancos, then president of Children of God for Life, which is a pro-life worldwide leader in campaign for ethical vaccines, medicines, and consumer products that preserves the dignity of human life. We're going to link to it in the show notes for you today. But I used to get into a lot of trouble when I used to speak about vaccines. YouTube would put me in timeout and threaten me all the time. But Donald Trump is, I guess he's been pushed to the point now where he's starting to question some things. As we reported in the news yesterday, he's asked Pfizer to release all of their records to the public, not just to him, to prove that the vaccine was successful. To talk about it is Dr. Jose Trasancos. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing? Thanks for being on with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
I guess now that you're retired, you're probably skydiving or shark fishing or something every day, enjoying life. I don't know. But boy, I remember going back to 2020 to all the way to 2022. If we dared talk about it in public, I would just get phone calls, hate mail, and then YouTube would threaten my existence. It was a rough time. And now that we're like all these years sort of past it, it almost feels like surreal. Like that time almost wasn't real. How do you look back to those days?
I would pick the exact same word. It is surreal looking back on the last 4 years. And I think, there are a number of facets to this stone. If you look at, from a purely operational perspective, Operation Warp Speed was really kind of remarkable. It galvanized and focused a number of federal agencies and private sectors to produce something in a very brief period of time, and brought it to market. So, from that perspective, one can say that Operation Warp Speed did exactly what President Trump said it was going to do. Now, what it delivered is an entirely different story, and what was done after the vaccines were ready for distribution, those are altogether different things. I noticed in President Trump's social media post that he was calling on Pfizer to release the data, and Pfizer had shared some data with him that was, to paraphrase his words, extremely positive. The funny thing is Pfizer is an organization that wanted 75 years to release all of the clinical data associated with their vaccine production. So, those bridges don't meet in the middle. Right. On one hand, they say that they're being transparent. On the other hand, they petitioned the court for 75 years to release all of the clinical study data.
Isn't that something? 75 years. I mean, that should be very telling. If they don't, either A, they needed a lot of time just to figure out how to do all of this, or B, they were hiding something. I'm not sure what a C would look like, but 75 years feels like, why do you need 75 years to tell us what's in this? And from the beginning, from day one, this was part of our conversations back in those days, there was a clear connection to abortion. And this is why Catholics were raising the alarm. This is why Catholics were standing their ground and being fired over it. And then we might remember, and the Children of God for Life did a lot of reportage on this, that the Vatican, Pope Francis, came out hard against any Catholics, trying to, guilt them in. I would say it that way, try to guilt us into getting that shot. I had bishops tell us that we better get that shot, or else, if by the time we get to the hospital, it'll be too late. Shame on you and what you're doing to your neighbor. Remember all of that guilt that we're placed on us? It seems so incredible to me. That time, that period of our history, not all that long ago. And Project Warp Speed gave $1 billion of our tax dollars to these companies so that they could do who knows what, because they haven't told us.
Right. And it's interesting what happened to those companies. If you look at Moderna was basically a penny stock before COVID.
Oh, wow.
And about a year into the pandemic, they were trading at an all-time high of about $360 per share. That was an enormous increase in shareholder value to anybody who was holding Moderna stock. I know I bought one share so I could go to a shareholder meeting.
Really?
Yeah, and the increase in the stock price was spectacular. Stefan Bancel, the CEO, became a billionaire virtually overnight. He has an interesting history with COVID. The virus was not as novel as the quote unquote science would have you believe. There's a patent that dates back to 2016, I believe. It's either 2016 or 2017. Stefan Bancel is named in that patent, and that patent. Part of that patent is a sequence of 19 nucleotides that is specific to the COVID-19 virus, to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and it does not occur anywhere else in virology or in biology. So, there are still many stories to be told as it relates to the pandemic and the emergence of SARS-CoV-2. Also, remember, people were speculating about SARS-CoV-2 being the product of a lab. That virus did not emerge naturally. Anybody that even talked about that theory, just wanted to engage in that conversation, was immediately branded as a wacko.
I remember, yeah.
And as it turns out, all of those conspiracy theories turn out to be true.
Right. Yeah. Funny, isn't that?
And you mentioned Pope Francis, the guilt, the coercion, and all in the name of quote unquote public safety.
Exactly.
And our obligations to our fellow man. That's how Pope Francis put it. It was an act of mercy. And that Catholics should embrace that vaccine for the good of their fellow man.
And we didn't even know what was in it. And we were very concerned about its connections to abortion to begin with, and how they used aborted fetal cells for the development of this vaccine, which we didn't want to be a partaker of. We didn't want to be a partaker of that. And then let alone not know what this thing is and what its lasting effects are. I mean, I've had so many conversations about this. People, just the people who lost their jobs over all of this, people who were harmed by it. And in the vaccine world, in Big Pharma's world, they limit your ability to sue them if you get harmed by one of their medications, or specifically on vaccinations. It becomes a real issue for so many people. And here was the Pope trying to get all Catholics everywhere to get this shot. I mean, it was just like a real guilt trip. And it was really a difficult time. So many were being fired, and it was the Pope being quoted while they were being let go. It was just a really bad time for us all. But can you just go back and
absolutely.
Go ahead?
The damage. Lives were upended all over. Careers ended. And there were military objectors that people in the military that had I worked with enlisted, and I worked with officers in preparing cases for exemption, and uniformly, at least the first pass through for the first year or so, they were rejected out of hand. Completely outside of the established process. And a lot of these were career service members serving our country. And we also had people in the private sector where lives were upended, careers ended, lives were actually lives were lost. Careers were lost. People had to suspend their education. This was an amazing example of coercion across a vast scale.
Yeah, really crazy to me. One of our insiders in the chat box right now says he's still in related lawsuits over the loss of his career. Today, right now, he's still dealing with it. It's insane. RFK, I played a little clip from RFK earlier. He's an anti-vaxxer. He's been trying to sound the alarm now, and he's been stirring up a lot of trouble over at the CDC. Praise be to God for it too. But he was saying that with the Pfizer vaccine, this two-phase, two-shot dosage thing, he says it's ineffective for 6 weeks. And the infection rate gets higher within that first 6 week period, and death rates go up during that first 6 week period. And then after the second shot, it precipitously drops off incredibly fast as well. So it seems like it's ineffective just on a practical level, let alone going back to what we've already said now a few times, this connection back to the abortion and these fetuses, the cells from these fetuses that were aborted. Can you just give us the moral rundown on that? Because I think it's a good refresher for us today to remind ourselves why we wouldn't want to participate in anything like that.
Well, aborted fetal cell lines are commonly used in the development of pharmaceuticals.
I set you up for failure. I wasn't paying attention to the clock. That music means we got to go to a break. We're going to come back with that when we come back in 2 minutes from now. Dr. Jose Trasancos, thank you for being patient with me. But let's talk about that on the way we get back. What's the connection with aborted fetal cells to vaccinations? Why we don't want any part in that? But also, what lessons can we remember and learn from this? How do we move forward and not let this debacle happen again? And will Donald Trump actually learn from his warp speed mistake? I don't even know if he's capable of admitting that publicly, but it seems like this is as close as you're ever going to get to that. Because if not, we need to know, and he does say that in his social post, we need to know why not. More on that in 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The Catholic Current, bringing Christ to the world and the world to Christ.
The genius of the Middle Ages was to see all things as a whole and integrated. Now everything is specialized, and I love this one quote. It says we're learning more and more about less and less.
Until eventually we know everything about nothing.
The Catholic Current, 5 p.m. Eastern, from the Station of the Cross and on the iCatholic Radio mobile app.
Catholic radio has just been a lifesaver for me. I still listen to it every day. I start my day with it. I listen to it all day long as much as I can. I am very grateful for it.
It's just an amazing thing to have, as I am new to Catholicism. Obviously, it's not only helping me, but it's helping so many other people on their walk.
Thank you. God bless you for iCatholic Radio. It has changed my life.
Donate today at thestationofthecross.com.
Here at the Station of the Cross, we proudly bring the truths of the Catholic faith to countless listeners through radio and mobile devices, and we're grateful for the feedback we've received.
Catholic radio has just been a lifesaver for me. I start my day with it. I listen to it all day long as much as I can. There's always people calling in with people who've lost children, and I love what everyone has to say and the advice of the Catholic Church and how to deal with suffering. It has given me the strength to get through the day and to get out of bed each morning. I am very grateful for it.
Catholic radio to me has been very informative on my religion. It has informed me of many things that I wasn't aware of or should have been aware of, and I've enjoyed it very much listening to it.
If you've been blessed by listening to the Station of the Cross, let us know. Call 1-877-888-6279, extension 112. Then share your testimonial with us.
To Jesus Christ, welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClain. Praise be to God. It's good to be on with you. And thank you, iCatholicMobile.com, for your generous support for what we do here at the Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network. My family loves our plan. We love the fact that our cell phone carrier is Catholic, and you can check them out online. iCatholicMobile.com, more than just a wireless phone service, 5G, unlimited data plans, all the rest. It's more than that. Praise be to God, they're on the team and they support us here at the Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network. You can find more information at iCatholicMobile.com. We're having a conversation with Dr. Jose Trasancos about Donald Trump. Is he admitting that he was wrong out loud? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But he says he wants all the records released because if it didn't work, he wants the world to know why not. And we've been talking about this with Dr. Jose Trasancos, formerly the president over at Children of God for Life and cogforlife.org. I'll put a link to them in the show notes today. Welcome back. We were just before the break. I cut you off because we were going to break. We're talking about this connection from abortion to the vaccines. Can you just can you give us what does that connection look like? How is that possible? Why is it immoral from a Catholic perspective?
Aborted fetal cell lines are very commonly used in the development of pharmaceuticals. And in this case, an aborted fetal cell line, HEK293, and variations of that cell line were on the critical path to validating the vaccine's effectiveness. What they used the aborted fetal cell lines for was to test the response to the vaccine at the cellular level, and these tests are critical in the development cycle. But for the use of the aborted fetal cell lines, these vaccines would not exist. That's my wife and I came up with that test, that but-for test. Seems to be a correct way to evaluate the ethical development of a pharmaceutical. But for the use of aborted fetal cell lines, would the drug exist? And in this case, the answer clearly is no. Wow. The exploitation of aborted children was on the critical path for the development of all of the COVID-19 vaccines. Throughout the pandemic, not a single vaccine that was ethically developed was available in the marketplace. They were all compromised.
Wow. I know I've got a friend who I've had more than one friend, I think, in this category. I remember hospitals being locked down and patients that were dying of COVID were stuck in the hospital and priests couldn't go to give last rites. And just that this whole, like we talked about in the last segment, this whole sort of this surreal, like just this weird diabolical cloud that hung on planet Earth, and everyone was just in this weird place. Do you think we've learned anything from that? Do you think it's possible that that'll happen again?
Some people have speculated that the next pandemic is currently in the planning stages. I think it appears that there were aspects of this pandemic that were very carefully managed. This was not a natural event. And honestly, people watched their loved ones pass away in front of them through a pane of glass. They weren't allowed in the room. Priests weren't allowed to give last rites. But the funny thing is in a lot of those cases, what led to the people's death were the standards of care themselves. Now, early in the pandemic, I don't know. Perhaps you recall the focus on ventilators.
Oh, I do.
We need more ventilators. We need to build more ventilators and get them to the hospitals to put these people on ventilators. As it turns out, putting somebody on a ventilator, with a severe case of COVID, was the worst thing you could possibly do.
Wow. Yeah, I remember.
So in and of itself, you can chalk that up to medical misadventure, which, by the way, is the third leading cause of death. But there are a number of different things that related to COVID that are similar, like remdesivir. Remdesivir was also a compromised pharmaceutical. It was developed using aborted fetal cell lines as well. And it was supposedly an antiviral of some great effectiveness. But the funny thing is remdesivir killed people. Many patients that were given remdesivir ultimately succumbed to the drug itself. A number of nurses started calling remdesivir "run, death is near."
Ouch.
Yes, from a product safety standpoint, the pandemic gets an F. The vaccines had objectively speaking, a horrible safety profile. If you look at VAERS data, VAERS is a reporting database. Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System is what VAERS stands for. And the COVID-19 vaccines were responsible for over 90% of all of the reports to VAERS since its inception.
Wow. Isn't that something? And you remember that the horse drug that everybody, was getting all bent out of ivermectin. Yeah, remember that? I mean, like, you weren't even allowed to talk about ivermectin without getting in trouble. An Uber driver gave me a bad review because I had a positive thing to say about ivermectin. I'm like, shouldn't I be able to talk to my doctor about that? Like, why does it the mainstream media gets to decide whether or not I get to take ivermectin? Like such bizarre times. Do you think Donald Trump learned anything from that? Do you think this is in his social media post, do you think that this is him basically saying that perhaps he was misled, misinformed, or whatever? And now, Robert Kennedy seems to be leading the charge within his administration to sort of change that narrative. Do you think Bobby Kennedy's having an impact on him here? Do you think Donald Trump is admitting any wrongdoing on his part or error in his ways? And do you think he'll come out swinging on the opposite direction?
Well, I think RFK Jr. is definitely having a positive impact on this, and it's his focus. Excuse me, and that's rooted in his focus on transparency. RFK Jr. wants the truth to come out, and the truth needs to be objective. One of the things that we saw throughout the pandemic was basically science lost its soul. They compromised their integrity. They were caught a number of times making up information, making up data, changing the outcomes, irresponsible analysis. I corresponded with one of the authors of a scientific paper. I had an issue with something in their statistical abstract. What they were claiming was a positive relationship to one of the vaccines, a positive outcome. And they pointed to an analysis where the upper bound, the confidence interval contained 0. If you know anything about statistics, if the upper bound and the lower bound contain 0, you have nothing.
Ooh.
There is no correlation to be had. But they were pointing to that, saying that was supportive evidence to the use of the drug. And I said, that's irresponsible. And it is. I wasn't flaming anybody with that assessment. So, the truth actually was a victim here. And RFK Jr., I think, is pushing the other way.
Let's hope and pray he's successful at getting to the truth of the matter, because the world was hijacked and kidnapped by error. And let's not let that happen again. We're out of time. Dr. Jose Trasancos, really appreciate you being back on. Thanks again for bringing up the old nightmares. Praise be to God. And hopefully we won't get in trouble this time like we did in those days. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow morning or in the after show for another round of ACT Bingo. So what did you think of today's show? Let's discuss that right now in the after show. Your take on the after take. Comment, interact live with me and the team. All you need to do is search for one of our live video feeds on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, LinkedIn, and elsewhere. Simply search for the Station of the Cross, Joe McClain, or A Catholic Take. I'm looking forward to seeing you and interacting with you directly. It all starts right now. It's the after show.
And we're back. Welcome to the after show, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Who remembers? Who remembers the nightmares? Or do we just want to forget?
Like Pepperidge Farm. I remember.
Pepperidge Farm?
Yeah.
How can you relate the pandemic to Pepperidge Farm?
Pepperidge Farm remembers the pandemic.
Pepperidge
The
Farm.
mandates,
That's like the tin full of food that lasts 22 billion years, right? Like that they used to sell them on infomercials on television.
Pepperidge Farm? No, Pepperidge Farm is the cookies.
Is it cookies? No, didn't they used to do Pepperidge Farm? Didn't they used to do meats and cheeses and such in 10? I think I remember some sort of.
Did they do containers? I think they did some things. I don't know if they did survival packages.
No, it wasn't survival. They sold it as like a
No, they just
sold it on infomercials on television.
Okay.
And I just remember
there we go.
Yeah, I mean
that's great.
It was like a selection of specialty meats and cheeses, but they were all shelf ready for a century or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway,
infomercials are funny.
I'm getting the wrong kind of remembrance.
I will say those first couple months of lockdowns were pretty much the best couple months of my life.
Why?
Because gas was cheap. Gas was super cheap. There was no one else on the roads acting like an idiot. And I was getting paid to sit home and not work. It was paradise. Paradise on earth for a couple months.
God help you.
And then...
God help you.
Then it all got bad.
So, what you meant to say was you stayed home, but you took that opportunity to build an extension on the home.
I took that opportunity to smoke and hang out with friends. It was great.
You cleaned out the closet. You did things that
I'm sure I did something mildly productive. But the important part was that I was getting paid to not go to work. It was incredible.
No,
amazing.
It's ridiculous. What are you talking about? No, sir. Hey, good morning, everybody. Jen Nugent, I worked at a hospital during the craziness. That must have been even more crazy, actually. I can't imagine pulling that off. James 16897. Good morning to you. That's Swiss Colony. Joe is thinking. Is it Swiss Colony? It's Pepperidge Farm. Pepperidge Farm. There's surely at this Pepperidge Farm. I'm remembering some weird. I'm getting glimpses of a weird infomercial in my mind back in the 80s or something. I used to hang out with my grandma and watch it on her TV. Mateus, good morning to you. The toilet paper. Who forgot about the toilet paper?
That was so stupid. There was a run on toilet paper. No pun intended.
Bizarre things. I remember, Joe doesn't watch commercials. Not anymore, but back in those days I did. I remember, I was going hunting for hogs. It was May of 2020, I think it was. Was it May of 20? It was May of 2020. I was going to go hog hunting. And I'm like, I'm going to bring back some hogs. I'm going to need a deep freezer to put those hogs in. And I went looking for a deep freezer, and there were none. I'm like, where are the deep freezers? I'm like, I called up Best Buy. I'm like, how many deep freezers do you have? We don't have any. I go, what do you mean you don't have any? How can you not have a deep freezer? Home Depot, how many you got? Oh, we got none. How do you not have a deep freezer? How are they not just readily available for me to walk in and buy? Is this not capitalism? Good grief. What are we talking about here? They were all gone because there was a giant hoard, crazy mentality for toilet paper and deep freezers and I forget what else. Absolutely bonkers. By the grace of God, somebody very generously donated their deep freezer to me and my family. Because otherwise, I was going to pay triple the amount and have to drive 5 hours to go pick it up. I was like, this is crazy. What are we doing here? So, by the grace of God, I got a deep freezer out of the deal because somebody was very generous to my family. Sharon, good morning to you. Paul, good morning. Where's the bingo link? I don't know.
It's in the chat.
It's hard to get good help here, Paul. You see what I'm saying? Because I got a guy who
beggars
just wants
can't
to
be
sit
choosers.
at home. It's also
Beggars
just linked.
choosers.
It's also, Paul, it's also just linked at the top. It's pinned there. So all you got to do is click on that. You're in business. T-Storm, good morning to you. Yeah, Pepperidge Farms is cookies and crackers. It's not pepperoni and cheese. Am I just not remembering correctly? It's probably the creatine. I haven't had enough of it, I guess. Okay, how can I know if Joe stabs his heart when the bingo card is open? I can't do both. Does someone know how to do both?
Open it in a new tab.
Open it in a new tab. There you go.
Just gotta flip between them.
Whether or not I stab my heart, you have to be here. You got to be around. You got to watch it. You just got to be on the lookout at all times. We did not run out of toilet paper during COVID, and we never went to the store and throughout the COVID era of lockdown to buy toilet paper because I already had plenty of toilet paper way before COVID ever came up on anybody's radar. We now don't have toilet paper shortage problems in our house because ever since we have been buying, truckloads full of toilet paper. Just in case that ever happens again. We generally have a nice supply of toilet paper. And we also have a nice supply of stock of food, too. Jerome, good morning to you. What about going to restaurants and nearly everybody masking until it was time? I know. You remember you had to wear your mask to walk in the restaurant, and then you get to your table and you can take them off. I'll never forget, though, trying to fly on an airplane, and they expected us to eat like this. I mean,
yeah.
Absolutely.
My favorite,
bonkers.
my personal favorite was orchestras wearing masks that had holes over the mouths to play the instruments.
Yes.
Amazing. Just complete dystopian retardation. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
Oh, just mind blowing. I bought a pantyhose. The pantyhose, I forget what they called them, but it was just basically pantyhose that you put on your face. And to get on the airplane, it was Hickory Farms. Liz, thank you. It's not Pepperidge. It's Hickory. You're right. I'm wrong. It's Hickory. I'm thinking about Pepperidge. I guess is just cookies. Whatever. Okay. But yeah, I remember it was completely see through and you could breathe through it. And nice. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's I'm sorry, dear airline company. Are you concerned about people getting sick or not? Because to me, what it looked like was you just wanted to stay in business, which I want you to stay in business too, by the way. I don't want you to go out of business and lay off all these people. But, it's just this virtue signaling nonsense was just shallow and weak. Because you're cramming us in shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. You weren't willing to sacrifice a seat in between people because that would cost you too much money. But you want us to wear this stupid mask routine that actually statistically didn't help anyway. That's disingenuous, and I dislike that. So, pick a side. Do you want to stay in business or do you want to care about the vaccine spreading? You just don't want to get sued, probably. It was just all shallow virtue signaling, not actual concern. Because, and I what I said in those, maybe after the first month or two, I was like, the worst thing they could do is cram all this down our throats. The best thing they can do is just keep us aware of what's going on, because I think people genuinely get concerned, oh, well, what can I do to help? I'm going to stay away. I don't need the world to tell me to stay 6 feet back. I might come to that conclusion all on my own. And I think neighbor wanted to help neighbor. At least, here when natural disasters happen, neighbors get very helpful. They want to help their neighbors out. And but when you were well, now we're going to mandate this darn thing, 14 days to slow the spread. Well, now all of a sudden our attitudes changed. And now all of a sudden we were fighting over toilet paper at the grocery store. Absolutely mind blowing. It was just the wrong move. Totally the wrong move. Edward Clancy, good morning. Hickory, I know, I'm thinking of KZ too. Yes, you're right. I'm wrong. I was thinking of Hickory Farms and not Pepperidge. Pepperidge Farms obviously is cookies, which is better than pepperoni, generally speaking, but I do like me some pepperoni. Tradish Mom, I take it back what I said, then must have been Hickory Farms. Yeah, see, I triggered everybody, apparently. Studebaker, good morning to you. Could have been worse, Joe. You could have lived in New York State during... Yeah, I don't understand why you people living in New York State either during those times, to be honest with you. You guys should have, in protest, should have all left and just left your governor there.
Why? It's our state, not theirs.
Yeah, tell that to your governor.
Yeah, I will. She used to be a parishioner at my church.
Ouch. That's even worse.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's pray for Kathy Hochul to one day become Catholic.
Edward Clancy also wonders, when do you think we will recover from the pandemic's impact on society? There are still people masked up in NYC, especially on the subways. There's a term for this. It's called one-shotted. A lot of people got one-shotted by the lockdowns, by the pandemic, by the masks, and they're just they're done. Like they are completely bought into the entire thing. They're going to wear masks until the day they die. It's it's become a religion.
Joey Carter says, I had a Halloween Batman mask as a joke. When they told me to put on a mask, I put that one on.
I had a friend who had a big Crusader helmet. He would put that on, just a full head helmet that he would put on. And I had just a little one I had a little mask that kind of looked like Bane's mask from The Dark Knight Rises.
What does a Crusader helmet look like?
It was just a knight's helmet,
Okay.
Big metal, but I don't think it was real metal, but it was a big metal looking thing with just a little eye bar. It was great. It was really funny. Cool. They'd make him wear a mask. He would just walk in with that. No one looked at him weird because everyone else was acting like an idiot. So
what are you going to do?
He was just going to be like, okay, I'm going to wear a knight's helmet. There we go.
I'm just blending in,
It was
people.
great. It was great. That was one of the funniest things I saw was his Crusader helmet.
Dave's Jew 93, welcome back, says, I pray that Hochul will one day become human. But again, that's just me. Well, one can pray. We can at least do that. Susie, have you guys recovered down there, or are they still arresting single individuals off lonely beaches? Like, what is going on down under? Seriously. It really boggled my mind to see the Australian reaction to the pandemic. It was just above and beyond. Beverly Hamilton, good morning to you. Janice, good morning to you. Janice, thanks again for being on the team. KSB, welcome back. Good morning. Hickory Farms sold summer sausage, not pepperoni. Just say, okay.
Oh my gosh, Joe,
you're getting more wronger.
You're getting more pushback for this than for any vaccine talk.
I know. Like, I really triggered this.
We finally found a new controversy to take over the Israel-Palestine thing. It's Joe's Pepperidge Farms misremembering.
Farms controversy. Pepperidge Farms
it's Pepperidge
with their
Gate.
pepperoni. Pepperidge
This
Gate.
is, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Sorry, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Can we, after the show, Jake, have me fired? And
oh my gosh, you just checked 2 boxes on someone's card with that.
Flogged publicly with that one.
Mea culpa and have me flogged. That fills 2 boxes.
We're gonna get a bingo soon here. Tomes 23 says, I avoid the mask. At least we know we cannot trust. Okay. Roxanne, good morning to you. Some students wear a mask to take their makeup test when they are actually sick as a courtesy to others. And that's fine. Before the pandemic, a lot of people wore, usually it was Asians for the most part. They would wear masks traveling through airports. I'm like, whatever. I didn't ever have an issue with it. And I wouldn't have an issue with it today if it wasn't such a crazy dystopian, weird thing that they crammed down our throats. Because statistically, the masks that people wear don't actually prevent the transmission of the sickness. I remember we were putting on T-shirt material and just all this stuff, and like those regular, surgical masks, they weren't very helpful. You had to have what do they call them? Someone's going to get on me on this one too. M90 mask, maybe is what they're called. I forget now.
Maybe M95, one or the other.
M95, I can't remember maybe it was something like that. Like you had to have one of those or better. Like those are the ones that would actually be more effective. Most of them totally ineffective. And what's worse was bacteria would grow on these masks, and people would be wearing them day after day after day after day after day after day, and that was causing lots of problems. So I don't have a problem if someone wants to wear a mask. God help you. God bless you. God love you. But don't go cramming it down your neighbor's throat. That's my point. Memento, good morning to you. I keep seeing liberal news talk about the Minneapolis shooter, discussing how they keep saying he was a woman. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I would agree.
The thing about the masks is a lot of people wouldn't be wearing it if it didn't give them something to feel morally superior about and try and cram it down people's throats so they can get over not having been made a hall monitor in high school. They're getting that, frustration out by telling other people what to do. We saw this, and people love to bring up Soviet Russia, that this is how people were. They would inform on their neighbors just to feel powerful.
Right.
Right. This is we saw the exact same thing. This is part of human nature, And it happens in the U.S. too. It's not a Russian thing.
Part of human.
It's not an East German thing. It's a human thing to just betray your neighbor for the clout the social clout of having, been a good boy and I informed on him, It's just.
You say clout or Klaus?
Clout.
Klaus.
Are you talking about Klaus Schwab?
Klaus Schwab, yeah. Das ist gut.
I remember when those pictures of him.
It's good, no?
Those pictures of him in like the Star Trek villain uniform were going around.
Yes.
And people were like, he's the Antichrist. He's the Antichrist. I'm like, everyone in the world hates him. How can he be the Antichrist?
That's right.
That's not how that works.
Stop it, Jake, with these factoids of yours. Okay? Stop stirring the pot up, pal. Listen, Klaus Schwab was the arch villain of the world for a time.
Yes, he definitely wasn't kind of just
he lived it up.
Public
his,
face.
I know. Remember it, like his James Bond 60s.
That's why I can't take him that seriously. Like
outfit. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, does this guy know, or is he trolling us? What is he doing?
I know. That's why I can't like take him that seriously as the world's ultimate supervillain. It's like I'm more scared. Good. I'm more scared, if I could be scared of it, of like someone like Donald Trump being the guy. Because people like him. He's got a lot of fans. He dresses in a suit. He looks normal. That sort of thing. That's why he's scarier. Klaus Schwab, he looks like he stepped out of the original series, Star Trek.
He bought into his own crazy though. You ever listen to his talks? He was out there. He was.
Of course he was.
He was batty. Totally batty.
Oh yeah, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that
why do you love Klaus Schwab? That's all I'm asking.
No, I just love his. I just love his look.
Did you get the tattoo of his face on your chest?
Joe,
or something?
I just love his drip.
Why?
We're gonna learn it. We're gonna learn a new slang term today. Drip. He's got the drip. He's got that Star Trek mirror universe drip going on.
See, back in my day, we say he has the juice.
There you go. See, well, juice drips, right? It all makes sense. It's all connected.
Juice drip?
It's all connected. All slang's connected in the end.
Chris Lopez, why do I feel like you're triggering me here? Why do I feel manipulated by you right now, Chris Lopez? Says, good morning, Joe. Which movie did you like better, Tombstone or Wyatt Earp? Why do I feel like I'm being manipulated by that one? What are you getting at there? I mean, clearly there's only one correct answer to that question. Clearly. Right, Jake? Jake doesn't.
My answer is going to be Tombstone because I just love Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. I got to go with Tombstone.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I think there's an answer to that question. It's Tombstone.
Tombstone is the answer.
Yeah.
Clearly, Tombstone's the answer. But I got to say, I did like old what's his name is Wyatt Earp.
Oh sure, but I'm just saying, like, you're adding. I mean, like it's not just Val Kilmer; it's the whole cast, and you've got
It's Tombstone.
It's got to be Tombstone. I mean, Johnny Ringo, Michael Biehn as Johnny Ringo. He's so good.
A Navy SEAL going up against Doc Holliday. Of course,
Michael Biehn is
Terminator.
He's only been in like 4 movies, and they're all like 4 incredible movies where he gives an Oscar-worthy performance. Like,
who didn't
so
love
great.
The Rock? He was in The Rock. He reprised his Navy SEAL role in The Rock. He was amazing. I like that. But of course, his role in Terminator was like his probably most iconic.
Ooh, M. Proximus is going further. He's saying Wyatt Earp was propaganda.
Come now. How was it propaganda? It was great. It was like Horizons, but with a younger Kevin Costner. What's wrong with that?
Napoleon Solo says Klaus Schwab is really Mike Myers.
Yes, exactly. Get in my belly. Yeah, remember that from Mike Myers?
Now's the time on United Nations when we dance.
Douglas is called bingo. Well, Douglas, do you know what you need to do? You know what you need to do, Doug. You got to send the card in. It has to be confirmed, and then after we confirm it, we'll tell you what game we're going to play next. Joe is getting under Jake's skin a square. Yes, that should be a square. I like that idea. That would be good. That'd be a good idea. Gregory, good morning to you. Schwab looks like he is melting. Thankfully, the world has been saved because Klaus Schwab is retired. So the Antichrist is no more. We don't have to worry about it. And by the way, God rest, what's his name's soul? Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer. What a tragedy, huh? Man, who didn't love Val Kilmer? It kind of reminds me of, what's his name, who was in Airwolf, the pilot in Airwolf. What was his name? Had a similar thing, like where his voice went out or whatever. Like just, and you never heard from him.
Jan
ever
Michael
again.
Vincent.
Jan Michael Vincent.
He had severe alcoholism, as I recall.
Yeah,
that was a big part of it.
Yeah, God help him.
Good old Jan Michael Vincent.
Did he pass?
He might have, but I'm not sure.
Vincent.
Let me look it up. Jan Michael Vincent.
I don't know.
Doesn't Jake loses his cool count as Joe getting under my skin? I have that as a square.
No, those are two different things. Because you lose your cool all the time with the poor people in the chat box.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
we'll have to add a
I think maybe it
specific
should be
card.
2 boxes. Jan Michael Vincent, man. And remember how they ruined Airwolf, like with a whole different crew? Like, what are you doing? Stop this nonsense.
Jan Michael Vincent passed in 2019.
God rest his soul.
He had a he had a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor in The Mechanic.
Do you remember Jan Michael Vincent and my brain. God help us all. It was the Stuntman movie with Smokey and the Bandit dude. Why can't I remember the guy's name? What is wrong with me? I know you guys are all going to put his name in the chat box now. I'm going to feel like an idiot because I can't remember such an icon's name from Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, Burt Reynolds?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Burt Reynolds.
I thought you were talking about
What is wrong with me? Jan Michael Vincent, Burt Reynolds, they played in a movie together about stuntmen. One, the old guy stuntman was being replaced by the young guy stuntman. And then they did a stunt together. Who remembers that? Jan Michael Vincent. God rest your soul. By the way, speaking of actors that have died, did you guys catch Graham Greene dying? The, from Dances with Wolves fame? Wasn't he also in, what was that movie that came out maybe a little more than a decade ago? The Shack. Remember that? The Shack? It's like a Protestant film, but it was like very powerful. Creatine overload. Maybe it's an underload. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know. Or I'm just old and you shouldn't get old. I don't recommend getting old. It's not really good for you. William Jones says Val Kilmer owned Doc Holliday, but Michael Biehn as the perfect foil as Johnny Ringo. That rivalry is deep and ironic. It's deep and ironic. How is it ironic exactly? Tatanka, exactly. Mac, who doesn't love Wyatt Earp on the Western Plains, learning to speak? I guess it was Navajo. Was it Navajo? I forget. Tatanka. Oh, man. Dances with Wolves. Whew. What a movie. Dances with Wolves. What an epic. What's his name? Not Kurt. Why do I want to say Kurt? Man, today I'm out of it.
I just remember Dances
I'm
with
not
Wolves
remembering
basically being Avatar, but with Indians.
Joe getting old is an experiment. Scary. You just remember what? Say that again?
I said I just remember Dances with Wolves being Avatar, but with Indians.
Kinda, yeah, actually.
Oh, the Europeans, the Americans, the white man is so evil. I got to go side with the natives because they're innocent, noble savages who are much better and much more moral
Kevin
and
Costner,
upstanding.
thanks, Roxanne.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much how it went. That was a good summary right there. You don't really need anything else. Just that basically.
I mean, that's so many movies. That's why Last of the Mohicans is so much better because it's kind of just like, there's good guys and there's bad guys, and
they got along sometimes, right?
I love that movie.
And they got along. They weren't always killing each other.
Yeah, it's like it's just it makes sense. That movie has actual people in it. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. We were watching some of that the other day. As a matter of fact, Last of the Mohicans.
Great soundtrack, everything.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name is back though, by the way. Daniel Day-Lewis, who retired from acting, is acting again. Just so you know. So there was that. Graham Greene was in Maverick with Mel Gibson. That's right. That's true. He's been in a ton of things. God rest his soul. There was something I was gonna say about that. Oh yeah, you reminded me. There is a DNA scientist guy we've had on the show before. Maybe I'll get him back. He's with Answers in Genesis, so he's a proddy. So take that into consideration. But he is a DNA scientist, and his work is based on the science. It's not based on his evangelical perspective. Although he does compare the scientific results to genealogies in sacred scripture, which I find incredibly fascinating. So I do encourage you to check him out. Nathaniel Jeanson is his name. I've interviewed him a few times. I've read his book as well. And right now he's like hyper-focused on pre-Columbian America. So before the time of Christopher Columbus. What did the people look like? Where did they come from and when did they get here? Before Christopher Columbus ever shows up in 1492, based on DNA. And his findings are absolutely fascinating. Like, for instance, we were just talking about, the indigenous people on the East Coast, like the Massachusetts, for instance, and others through that were all over New York and Massachusetts and Vermont, New Hampshire, all these places. They don't get there until very recently. They were not there thousands and thousands of years before Christopher Columbus. They show up fairly recent in the time scale. We're talking 900s AD to Christopher Columbus's time. That's when they show up in the Americas. Their own records seem to indicate this, and compare that to DNA studies, it seems like they're a very recent origin. And the attacks like the Comanches and the Aztecs and all these other tribes, they were coming in. There were people that existed before them, and these people show up and start slaughtering those people and whatnot. So you really should check out Nathaniel Jeanson and watch his videos. You'll find them utterly fascinating. I should get him back on the show sometime to talk about that, because I'm always really, really intrigued by all of that. Let's see here. Sigh, when you hope and wait for someone to lose their cool. Well, just hold off, T-Storm. Give it a sec.
Yeah.
Jake is notorious for absolutely losing it.
But I do have to try and help Doug Ramikis get a screenshot of his card. So if you're on your iPad, does anyone know the button combination or whatever for a screenshot on the iPad? I do not, because I'm not an Apple person.
Well,
yeah,
I know.
Sorry,
on
Douglas.
iPhone,
I was thinking you were on a computer. That's where the print screen button is. But if you're on your iPad,
just Google it, Douglas. Just go to YouTube or go to Google.
Trying to crowdsource the help from here.
Go to ChatGPT or something.
Ask the robots. Yeah. Go.
How do I screenshot an iPad? Now, I know on an iPhone, it's the power button and the low volume button.
And you hold them down at the same time. Okay, that's
you push them
similar
at the
to
same
mine.
time, and it does a screenshot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the same on the iPad. I don't know. You're gonna have to try that out.
He says he has the screenshot. Yay! All you got to do is email it to act@thestationofthecross.com.
Jay Thor, thanks for being on the team. You are amazing. Really appreciate your support. It is intriguing, isn't it? I do agree. Graham was in the in the Green Mile too. I forgot about that. You're right, Mac. He was in the Green Mile. Ringo Holiday says William Jones' rivalry was ironic because they are almost the same. Holiday still maintains a thread of virtue. Ringo does not. That small degree of difference makes all the difference. Did you guys ever watch the behind the scenes when Ringo, what was his name again? Why can't I remember any names today? No names. It's like complete blank.
Johnny Ringo? Michael Bean?
Yeah, Michael Bean. Thank you. Michael Bean was talking about how he was preparing for his character, and he was learning to spin the pistol, the revolver, whatever. He's spinning that thing all over set all day long, every day. And Val Kilmer's watching him just do this like all day, every day, getting great at it. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to show that up? And then it sort of kind of came to him like on the spot, just to flip the shot glass, just and really mock him. And it was all spontaneous and nobody saw it coming. And so it was like a big hit. It made the film.
Mm-hmm.
Angelique, good morning to you. Don Paddock, good morning to you. Which one drives you crazy? The one person in the car wearing a mask? Come on, what's wrong with that? Clearly they can get themselves sick. They're just trying to protect themselves against themselves. Seems reasonable to me. Patty says, wasn't Bishop Strickland canceled because he wouldn't shut down for COVID? He did shut down for COVID, though. I was lucky enough to go to an outside mass during COVID. He was ordered by Cardinal DiNardo to shut all the parishes down, which he did do. He didn't want to do, but he did do it. And then he realized that he still had to provide for his flock, so he did what he could during those times. But in fact, he did shut down. Everyone did. They were forced to. I mean, it was the lawyers. It was the lawyers and insurance that made that decision. Well, we don't have any money. We've been paying out all this money for, sex abuse claims. There's no more money for you to be paying out for COVID claims, so you better shut down your doors. And that's exactly what they did. Angelique, good morning. Says tinfoil hat on. Maybe looking at Operation Warp Speed has to do with locking people in at work next time instead of out. That would be Jake's biggest nightmare right there. Locked in at work.
Locked in at work? I know.
At work. You can't leave, and you might as well work.
I would put the no smoking rules to the wind if I was locked in at work. Be like, okay.
The boss would walk into a smoky-filled production
studio. Be like walking into a bar in 1940. Great.
Jake's over there choking and dying. That's all right, though. Gregory, what about obedience? They had to shut down and listen to the Pope. They did, didn't they?
Did that directive come out, or was it kind of a hive mind groupthink type of thing? Was there an actual directive that said to shut everything down?
Yeah,
from the Vatican.
I don't know if it was from the Vatican as much as from the federal government.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
what I was told was the someone, I forget which. It's been a while now, and my brain ain't working correctly. So somebody at the federal government level contacted USCCB and told them about the risk. The lawyers that run most of the dioceses basically all got on a phone call and directed bishops to say, here's the risk that you're running. And the decision was made to shut down the doors. I don't know that started with the Vatican. I don't think it did.
I mean, it could have. It could have been a quiet
spread throughout the world.
Private order directive from Rome. But my impression was that only a few places did it at first, and then kind of the groupthink, the hive mind took over, and obeyed, and everyone just locked down, obeyed what the federal government was saying, shut everything down. So I remember watching the map go black.
Rebecca says, I suspect there was something because my bishop held out for so long. My diocese was the last shut down. I thought, was it Michigan's was the last, or was it Beaumont, Texas? I thought Beaumont was the last to shut down, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But good for your bishop if he held out. Praise be to God for him. Holding out for as long as possible. Kevin Jabbar, good morning to you. Graham Greene was also in the Yellowstone prequel 1883 and Spotted Eagle, who tells James Dutton, in 7 generations my people will rise up and take it back from you. I have not watched Yellowstone. I have not watched 1883 or any of the other spinoffs. Should I?
No.
Are they good?
No.
No, they're not. Are they?
Libtard propaganda.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Libtard propaganda.
Oh, man.
Also inappropriate.
Is it really?
Yeah.
But you can filter them, I think.
Yeah, you could, but filtered libtard propaganda is still propaganda. If you're gonna watch terrible propaganda, go watch like a better older film that had propaganda in it. Like, go watch
libtard propaganda.
There's plenty of films that you can see back then are propaganda, but they're better made. Back in the 80s and 90s. Just watch one of those.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. I guess that's a good reason why I haven't watched it. Yeah. It's too bad though, because I think I'd be into kind of that.
Oh yeah,
sort of historical fiction setting. Like I think that would be cool to me.
That's what's sneaky about it.
Although
it's pretty blatant once you see it.
Libtard propaganda, apparently, so I can't do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob. Good morning to you, Bob Spinelli from in Pennsylvania. The governor claimed afterward that it was never an order to shut down, but a suggestion. Right, one that comes with
I was just
being
following
arrested.
suggestions.
Ja, boy, ja, das ist gut, no?
Yeah, exactly, Arleon.
I remember the Vatican City Hospital turned sick patients away. Church is a field hospital. I will never forget that. Yeah. And the Swiss Guards that got fired, remember them? Didn't get the shot. You got to go. What a crazy time we live in. Jimmy Z, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out with us again. Ronnie, again, good morning to you. Roxanne, Flyer Dude is back. Good morning to you. They were like dominoes. Yeah, they fell, didn't they? Never have I, Joey Carter. Never have you what? Got the jab? Never have I also. Dama, good morning to you. My daughter was born on March the 10th, 2020. Congratulations, by the way. Could not find trad, Novus Ordo, or even Byzantine priest who would baptize. Well, how sad is that, huh? Asked about 20. I'll admit, I still have a small chip on my... I bet you do. I can only imagine that you do. How crazy is that, huh? Old Henry. What's Old Henry? Come on, we should watch The Rifleman. That's what we should watch. If we're going to watch good propaganda, we got to watch The Rifleman.
All right. Doug has sent in his card, and he's just got them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 marks right down the middle.
Okay, and what are they?
History rant?
No. When did I ever rant about history?
Yesterday, apparently, I would guess.
What was it?
History rant, Jake is a liturgy nerd, free square, Protestant triggers Joe, new slang perplexes Joe.
What Protestant triggered me? When was this
I'm not
Protestant
sure.
triggering?
Was this yesterday?
I don't know, but the
Was he triggered
Protestant
yesterday?
triggering thing. Okay, I'll give you history rant. I'll give you the free square. Sure,
We
why not?
definitely talked about history yesterday, I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we had a history rant yesterday.
Did we?
Yeah. But Protestant triggered...
Okay.
Oh!
Christendom.
Yeah, and weren't
Constantine.
Yeah, and
That's what it was.
wasn't it a Protestant that triggered that? I think something Protestant triggered that. Maybe not a Protestant in the chat, but something Protestant came up and that's why you were ranting, I think.
I don't remember that.
Doug Ramikas, can you remember when you marked that off
what was
and
that
explain
exactly?
it? Because this sounds familiar now. I think there was a Protestant issue yesterday that set this off. But
Joe must have been.
Yeah.
It must have been on a Monday. Yesterday felt like Monday.
This happened on Monday when we were off.
Monday, for sure. The Henry. I know what you're referring to, Anthony Abate. Yeah, that was the one. It was like John Wick, but set in Western time, and that's great. Yeah, okay, wonderful. Like the whole John Wick has ruined movies now because everything is John Wick these days. Everything is former assassin, former secret agent.
That's what happens.
Like, come on. I did enjoy clips from that movie, Old Henry. I will give you that. Old Henry wasn't, because I like the fact that it's like what's the other film that's John Wick like? Is it Nobody? Is it called Nobody? I forget now.
Yeah, with like he's just a random guy who gets
random
upset.
Guy,
and goes,
unassuming.
It's just 21st century falling down is all that is.
Yeah,
we already did that movie.
Yeah, we've already done that. John Wick. I mean, like, Keanu, bro, stop making these films, okay? Just like, you did it. It's great.
They're popular.
I'm glad. Popular, but
what happens?
We got to move on from it now.
Like it's like Tookens with Liam Neeson's.
Oh yeah,
Liam
exactly.
Neeson's from Tookens.
The first one, good, great. After that, Liam can't do anything other than that now.
My favorite is it the first movie or is it one of the sequels where he's jumping over a fence and there's like 15 cuts for him jumping over a fence? It's something ridiculous.
Hey, did we say Doug got it right? Did we declare bingo or what?
He's claiming he got it right. He says yesterday that you were triggered by a Protestant.
I don't remember being triggered. Does anybody remember me being triggered by a Protestant yesterday?
I feel like I remember something Protestant, not in the chat. It was something else. It was like an external Protestant trigger. That seems familiar to me, but I can't remember exactly.
I remember being triggered yesterday. I might have mentioned something about Protestants. There was one reference yesterday in the interview itself. Our guest, Mark, brought up reading the Bible, and he made a little quip about, sorry to read the Bible, like it was a joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's our Bible. It's fine. It doesn't belong to the Protestants. It belongs to us.
Yeah.
I made that joke, but that's not the same thing as being triggered by a Protestant because Mark's not Protestant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that counts, Doug. We're going to need to vote on
He just
this.
went through all this work to get the screenshot.
I know, and I feel bad for him, but it doesn't count. I don't think it. I don't know that counts.
I do find it.
We need a vote here. We need.
I remember
how many
something.
people want to give it to Doug? Just raise your hand. Let me know if you want to just give it to Doug, and we'll play another game.
I remember something Protestant coming up in the after show yesterday relating to history, and I thought it was what helped trigger your history rant. You went on a whole long spiel about something historical.
I was talking about the little girl with the axe. In
the after show
I was talking about how she's the poster child for Scotland.
No,
now.
I thought near the end of the after show yesterday you went on a bit of a history tangent.
No, I did the whole Constantine in UK thing. That was the history thing. That was because of the girl with the axe and the blue face paint and freedom.
Not that it matters anything because democracy and suffrage are bunk, but everyone is voting to just give it to Doug.
Okay. Congratulations, Doug. You won. You see how the audience, the community loves you, Doug? They love you.
Arleon says you're perpetually Protestant triggered anyway.
What?
That doesn't count.
I am
No.
not. That's not true. That is not true. I have lots of Protestants in my family that I love because I'm required to love them. But anyway, hey, Tradish Mom says, I just told my husband, you know who passed away? That actor who played the Native American in every movie. And he knew exactly who I was talking about. How? Come on. What about Wesley? Wesley, what's his name?
Yeah, Wes Studi.
Wes Studi, yes. I would have thought Wes Studi would have been that guy.
Magwase, understand English very well.
He was in the Navy.
So good.
Wes Studi.
So good.
I remember
he should have been in more
with
movies.
him. I think he's a very fascinating guy, Wes Studi.
Caleb, are we relying on Joe's creatine-stimulated memory for the bingo game?
All right, what game are we going to play now? Doug, congratulations, you're the winner. You need to give me your address so that I can mail you stuff. Okay,
Well,
I still owe Liz Finch her package, and I'll get Doug's package out as well. But we need to decide. Are we going to do Four Corners? Or are we going to do Blackout? I say we do Blackout.
Oh my goodness. Sci-Fi Mike sent in his bingo card, and he actually has citations for everything he put.
Did Sci-Fi call bingo? Do we have competitors?
His email came in 4 minutes after the other one.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, Sci-Fi, I need you to go meet up with Doug. You two are going to have to do rock, paper, scissors.
He has citations.
What are his?
Terrible Impression, Mea Culpa, Jake Popesplains, 70s Reference, and When I'm Elected Holy Roman Emperor.
Did I ever bring up Holy Roman Emperor?
Pretty sure you did yesterday.
No way. This is the second day of the week. How is it possible we've gone through all these so far?
Joe, you've hit like 15 of them just in this after show. All anyone needs is one that's in order.
No, stop it. I feel like you guys are you just want stuff. You just want the bread. You just want your emperor to cast out bread to you. That's all you're asking for. How do we handle that then? I mean, technically he was not as fast as Doug was.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But again, he has the citations, whereas people are kind of just acclaiming Doug.
Don't clear the board, Judy. Don't.
It's like when they vote. It's like when they used to like just gather up a guy and say he's going to be our new archbishop back in the day, and the Vatican was just like, oh, okay. That's basically what they did to Doug.
Fight Doug after school. We don't want to encourage any violence.
Me and Sci-Fi Mike down in the schoolyard.
That's right. Sci-Fi's from Rochester. He probably doesn't fight clean. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Okay,
All those garbage plates.
Yeah, it's all those garbage plates.
You don't want to go up against those.
He can't go more than a minute, or he'll be winded. So
no, I was gonna say all that protein.
All that protein.
He's got the energy.
Melissa says, does that mean I can mark my square that's SYS Protestant triggers Joe? See, I don't recall ever being triggered by a Protestant yesterday. I don't think it counts personally. I don't think we should be marking that box because I wasn't actually triggered, but you all voted to just give it to Doug anyway.
Yeah, it's true. We did. We already called the state for Doug. You know, we can't go back. We can't go back.
Once what I have,
we already had the jump of votes in the middle of the night.
What I have said, I have said. What I have written, I have written.
What scripsy.
Yeah, so Doug is our new archbishop.
Quote screenshot.
Patrick
Screenshot.
Clancy says, give it to him, Gugwensa said. So there you go. Janice says, you didn't ask for citations, so it's Doug. You're right.
Yes.
We didn't say they had to provide citations.
We're gonna trust that Doug was marking his card in good faith about the Protestant rant.
Bingo
Protestant
board
triggering.
Triggers Joe. Should be a
Bingo
box.
board, yes. Yeah, let's make fighting over the bingo rules an extra category next time.
Okay. All right. Listen, you're right. We didn't specify. Should we? Before we move forward, do we need to have citations to prove the card? Because honestly, this was a gimme for Doug. I don't think I was triggered. I don't think it counts. But we're going to give it to him because that's the kind of people we are here at this community.
Yeah, going forward, do we need citations? People
Do we need citations?
Let's make people work extra hard for their fun.
Sci-Fi Mike went through the effort and he wasn't even asked.
He did. I know. He wasn't asked.
So, Sci-Fi, send me your address. I'll mail you a prize as well. So that's we got Liz, we got Doug, we got Sci-Fi. Okay. But moving forward, write notations. Like, let us know. Like, give us a clue, because I'm gonna say that the next time we have one in question, and I'm like, there's no way I did that, or that was said, or whatever, then I don't think we're gonna.
We need to Olympic style make a judgment call on some things.
Yeah.
Just in case.
So, how about we avoid it? Write the notations.
Like what? Like what? If, what if I make a Star Wars reference and someone says, "Oh, that was a '70s reference because Star Wars came out in 1977," and actually I was referring to the Phantom Menace, Star Wars.
We need written rules,
which is a 1999 reference. So,
T-Storm's right. I think we need.
Sometimes it's a judgment call.
Jake, we need you to add the rules to the landing page. We need the ACT bingo rules written down in stone, so that we can avoid the.
By the way, I do it
conflict.
Since we did have a bingo. Got to ring the bell.
Hey, you've got sound effects.
Oh yeah,
neat.
Yeah, mine are analog.
Oh wow,
that's a real bell.
Fancy. I don't know what else I have. Okay, that's kind of cool. Not as cool. No, I already did that one. No, I guess I don't. That's the extent.
You need to start playing the crickets every time I make a joke.
Testing. I like this. This is cool. No. I'm sorry, this is not working.
Wait.
My goodness, we have Tim Curry from Legend is with us. What was it like going up against Tom Cruise in short shorts?
How do I okay, there we go. Sorry. I don't have a
Let's
bell.
get some Tangerine Dream on the show.
All right, so we're going to play Blackout. Keep your cards. Don't get rid of them. Don't clear the deck. Keep them right the way they are. And we're going to play Blackout. First one to Blackout is the next winner on the card that you have now. After that, we'll start over with new cards. That sound like a fair deal?
First one to Blackout wins?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to the pub tonight, so that's good news for me.
Yikes. Cigar mode. You can't unring the bell. It is us here, Joe, being triggered. Not whether Joe actually feels it.
Ooh.
Facts over feelings. So, is there a box that says the audience is triggered? Because maybe there needs to be. There needs to be a box. The audience is triggered.
That'd be too easy. I do that every
almost
day.
like a freebie at that point.
Seriously. Okay, so but Blackout means you fill out every square. That's the
Every
goal.
square.
The goal is to fill out every square.
square.
And it's fitting because the background of the cards is black because I've got custom backgrounds now.
Yeah, he went all themed on us there.
Mm-hmm.
The leper, says Adam. What about the leper? Citation and timestamp so they can replay the tape. I don't know how far we want to go down that.
We don't need to
rabbit
say
hole,
honestly. If it's just a description of when it happened, that'll usually jog our memory. I
mean,
that when Sci-Fi Mike was describing the things in the email, those clued me into what he was referring to.
Dave Stew 93 says no citations. I barely listen to you as it is. That's true.
It's the truest thing that's been said on the show so far.
Oh, that's so good. I like that. It's true too. But it's fine. It's fine. It's great.
Welcome to White Noise with Joe and Jake.
Yeah, exactly. Look for great interview with Diane Montagna and Gavin Agington. I'm guessing that's what you mean there. On the trad mass survey that she uncovered showing Pope Francis used that survey to limit the TLM. She was also just on a different podcast too. I tried to interview her when I was in Rome, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to do that. So God love her. Alaric says, my heart goes out to Sci-Fi though, especially if he has to wait longer for an ACT mug. I know the whole mug thing. Like, I got to get on that, I guess, because nobody's going to get on it for me, I suppose. So I got to figure. I'm going to have to. My problem is it's not going to be what we had hoped it was going to be, because we never heard back from them, and they just apparently aren't interested.
Well, I mean, did we talk to them about the mug? We only talked to them about the coffee. That was what the ongoing discussion was.
Well, the coffee was the hang-up. The mug was part of the conversation, yeah.
I'll reach out to them. It's been a while since I've been in touch.
Max says blackout games lives matter, I think is what he meant to say. It's true. They do. They do. What's our tea time? How many people play golf? How many people want to play golf? Do you want to do an ACT golf tournament? How cool would that be? I don't play golf, actually. I haven't played golf in many, many years, but it would be fun to try again. The Bulgarian judge mini golf.
ACT
You want to play mini golf?
Mini
ACT
golf
mini golf tourney.
That'd be great, actually. That'd be really fun.
What is? Yeah, you just gave me this great idea. Like,
ACT
let's go
mini
do
putt.
that.
Let's do it.
Is there an epic mini golf course near the Buffalo studio? Anyone?
I would think so. There's quite a few in the area.
I mean, the problem is that's way up in Buffalo. Maybe we do it in like St. Louis or someplace where it's centrally located.
Do it far away from everyone.
Yeah, everyone equally suffers to get there.
There we go.
I don't know. Buffalo is hard to get to for me. I can never
I
get
know,
there in
I
a
know.
timely fashion. It takes the entire day to get up to Buffalo. It's always crazy.
We used to be a central hub of travel, and now we're
Not no mo.
now we're a stopover.
Yeah, it is too bad. But wouldn't that be fun? A mini golf tournament, ACT. Nobody does
That would be
mini
great.
golf. They do golf tournaments, but a mini golf tournament would be a really great time. It'd be fun to do. I wouldn't mind putting that together, figuring that out. Maybe like an ACT conference with a mini golf element. Maybe we do like a 1 day get together, family gathering, community gathering, someplace. You know, we'll have food and some talks and some folk music and a mini golf tourney. I think that would be a great time, actually. It'd be a fun time to do. Female Casey Royals fan from Nebraska. Supich is like 76 years old. He should have resigned by now.
Didn't he submit his letter? And
He did.
It's kind
He
of
has to.
it's one of those things where Rome is just ignoring it.
Yeah,
Rome does that all the time.
Unfortunately,
I'm never sure. I'm honestly never sure when it's when Rome is willfully ignoring it, and when it's just like sitting in someone's mailbox because it's time for repose. We have my espresso. Gotta go take a break. I've been at work for 1 hour. I need to go take my break.
You should live in Italy. You'd like it there.
Oh,
You'd love it there.
Don't get me started.
Smoke breaks, coffee breaks, breaks, afternoon siestas.
The office is open from 1 to 2.
1 to 1:15.
The life.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh.
It's August. We kind of leave at this time.
Actually, Catholic living.
Come on, man. Whatever.
Protestant work ethic.
Drink some coffee and get some stuff done. All right. Beverly Hamilton. Good morning. Thanks for hanging out with us. So Darren said, what about one in Texas and one in New York? Oh, I got another idea. I got an idea that would make this possible no matter where you live on planet Earth. With some exception, obviously, because of time zones. Now that's a curveball in my brain I just thought of. What if we did a virtual mini golf tournament where we're all playing mini golf at the same time? Somewhere on planet Earth, and we're connected by like a Zoom chat or something.
I was thinking that. That could only go well.
That would be clunky and messy and probably not really going to work, but kind of fun to try, wouldn't it? Now you say coffee, says Janice. Well, if you live in this United States, it would be possible. Because there's, California to New York. Yeah, there's definitely a big time span there. But, so Californians are playing first thing in the morning and New Yorkers are playing late afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in between is middle of the day. No problem. Problem is going to be Europe. Europe is going to be 6 hours ahead of that. So, what time do mini golf places close over there? I don't know. I was like, it might be dark at night. And of course, it's 10 p.m. in Australia. You'd have to know the people who own the place to be able to keep playing down there at that time.
And the thing is, you wouldn't be able to equally compare like the par of each hole and that sort of thing.
No,
tough.
that's
It'd be tricky.
true.
It'd be tricky.
That
It'd
would be
very
tricky too. That would be tricky.
Like if this
too.
was the ACT International Zoom Call Darts Invitational, like everyone can have the same dartboard, and
I just had this crazy image in my head about some potbelly dude with a big thick mustache with a beer in his hand going, "Hey, is this the ACT Dart Invitational by Zoom?"
Where's the I got to show you the Smith and Jones dart clip. You ever seen that sketch? The Smith and Jones darts sketch?
No.
They used to have darts on TV in the UK all the time in the 70s. Alberto can back me up on this. They used to have darts, and basically everyone was just drinking nonstop during the darts tournaments until I think the BBC made them stop doing that, or whoever it was, ITV, whatever it was. But this the Smith and Jones sketch, they're playing darts. They're not even throwing any darts. They're just drinking.
Yeah, they're just exactly. I mean, I don't play darts. I don't know how to play darts. I mean, mini golf I could swing, but darts, I'm not sure how I would do in that. Beverly says it's 12:52 a.m. in New Zealand right now. Beverly, you need to get some rest. I mean, come now. Exactly. These guys are exactly who I had in my mind for a darts invitational. The best Zoom fax pass was when people accidentally put characters over their faces and didn't know it couldn't change it. Talking about back in the day during the pandemic and everybody started Zooming for the first time. Yeah, those are crazy. Dolan's letters have been sitting in someone's box for a while too, and Proximus says. Yeah, buddy. Obviously, darts would be a lot easier to pull off for everybody, no matter where they're at on planet Earth. That's for sure. Or we could do, I got another one. We could do, what do you call it? Those bean bags into the hole in the board?
Cornhole.
We could do a cornhole.
Yeah,
I got cornhole boards in my garage, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do a cornhole tourney via Zoom anywhere on planet Earth. This way, nobody has to travel, stay in a hotel, eat terrible food, drink.
Susie just gave me a great idea. She says her sister's sister-in-law owned a golf course. They were playing in the dark. Absolutely hilarious fun. Imagine, how they have midnight bowling? Imagine midnight mini putt, where everything's like lit up neon. You've got glowing golf balls putting around.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be cool. I would actually like to do that.
That'd be a great idea.
And a golf course would be pretty epic.
It would be cool
if
too.
you could actually
be a little
see
harder
the
though.
ball.
Yeah, it would have to be glowing pretty brightly.
Pretty brightly, yeah.
You'd lose it easily. That's why I think mini putt would be a little more, and you could bring kids and that sort of thing.
And it would be fun.
Like midnight bowling.
Whole family fun, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be great. I don't know. That'd be fun to do. Like an ACT conference / meetup / barbecue folk dance fun.
Yeah.
Mini golf tourney with prizes. Maybe give away a Honda or I don't know, a Tundra or something. Can we get a sponsor to give us
even a Honda requires George Soros money these days.
I want the truck to be sitting on the course, just like at a regular golf tourney.
Yeah.
You're going to win this. If you get a hole in one, you win that. Something like that.
Yeah, and it turns out it's just a little die-cast one, but yeah.
Maybe I go on Turo and rent the car and put it there.
Can you order one from Temu?
and then just give the car away. Here you go. You won. Congratulations. You got a hole in one. Could you imagine? That would be amazing. I would love to do something like that. That's a lot of work, though, to be honest with you. It feels like a lot of work to pull all of that off.
It does.
But it would be great to do a big meetup. I think it makes sense to kind of do it in Buffalo since that's our base of operations, but it's just not centrally located. Is the only downside.
I mean, it's centrally located for a lot of our overall listeners, I would say, but ACT has a big, wide range of listeners. So
yeah, and we did have a great conference. Our 25-year conference at Niagara Falls was pretty amazing, actually. Mm-hmm. Great crowd, great, wonderful show, but that was a lot of money and tremendous amounts of planning. So this would have to be something different from that. Because we're not. What's our budget? I don't know, $0. I mean, it's just not quite the same. Not quite the same.
Everyone show up at the same place and expect to pay your own bill. That's
That's kind of what it would have to probably be, if we're being honest with you. But yeah, if I were George Soros, though, I'd pay for all of you to go.
Yeah, of course.
100%, all of you. And we do it in Scotland at Duart Castle.
Yes.
That's where we would do it. Beverly says, Joe, yes,
hurling
regarding sleep.
tournament.
My body clock is all out of whack. You need to go to bed. We do need Polichicho to come in on the chat. He's not done that. You know why? Because he knows ACT Bingo is being played, and he doesn't want his name being called out. That's why. That's why right there. So maybe I'll text him tomorrow and he can join the show. We'll see what he says. But God love you guys. I still have to figure out what the show tomorrow is going to be about. That's still on my agenda to do today. We have Brent Haynes, of course, coming. Dr. Stein's back on Friday. And I'm still working on some other things for the show this week. But Ursula, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out again, Ursula. Great to see you in the chat box. Good morning, everybody. Edward Clancy says, hire midgets like this, like in This Is Spinal Tap. What? For the mini golf tour? For the mini golf tour tournament? Yikes. I'd probably get a call from somebody, some organization telling me I'm a horrible person if I did that. So much fun, Jake, looking for golf ball with a beer in his hand. Probably Susie, right? And the pipe hanging out of his mouth. Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Harrisburg. What about it? Is it March for Life?
Pennsylvania March for Life, September 22nd.
September 22nd. It's also, that's close to Gettysburg, right? You know what we ought to do? Let's do a history conference on the Civil War, on the war betwixt the states. Is it okay if we give pro-positive Confederate talks at Gettysburg? Would they allow for that, or would they kick us out? I'm curious. Maybe we go to... we just go to Pickett's Charge right there. And that's where we gather up, right at Pickett's Charge. And we just give a series of talks on the Confederacy. On Long Street.
We should have an ACT
himself.
Insiders charge up the same hill.
Yes, we could all charge the field. That would be so much fun to do. And my kids would absolutely be mind blown with all of that. Anyway, God bless you all. Thanks for having a laugh. Thanks for having fun. Congratulations, Doug and Sci-Fi. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.